A unit in your condo goes on the market. The buyer applies for a mortgage. Their lender sends a questionnaire to your management company. And somewhere on that form is a question about your association's physical condition. And the wrong answer could make your entire community ineligible for conventional financing. Most condo boards assume the mortgage questionnaire is routine paperwork, something the condominium management company handles and sends back. And they're right that the management company typically completes and signs it. But here's what boards often don't understand. Whoever signs that questionnaire owns the liability for what it says. That's not a technicality. The Condominium Project Questionnaire used by lenders following Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guidelines is a legal attestation. If your management company discloses a physical condition, or if a lender later determines a condition existed that wasn't disclosed, your entire development can be flagged as ineligible for conventional mortgage financing, not just one unit, the whole association. That means buyers in your community can't get standard financing. Owners trying to sell face a dramatically smaller pool of qualified buyers. Property values drop. And it comes out that if a known condition wasn't disclosed, the exposure for the association and for whoever signed the form is significant. This isn't a bureaucratic inconvenience. It's a financial threat to every owner in the development. Fannie Mae's guidelines require disclosure of specific conditions: structural material deficiencies, water intrusion, mold, failed inspections, evacuation orders, and unfunded repairs over $10,000 per unit expected within the next 12 months. Management companies read that list and think, we don't have any of that. Boards think the same thing. But here's where it gets complicated. The line between a routine repair and a disclosable condition isn't always obvious, and it's a judgment call that has to be supported by documentation. An aging roof that's been patched repeatedly may or may not cross that line. A water intrusion issue that was addressed but not fully resolved may or may not require disclosure. A structural report from 3 years ago that identified a deficiency and the follow-up work that may or may not have been sufficient, all of that feeds into what the questionnaire requires. The documentation trail your association has generated over time, meeting minutes, reserve studies, inspection reports, tells a story that lenders and attorneys can reconstruct. The question is whether the person completing the questionnaire has reviewed all of it carefully enough to know what story it tells. Here's the piece that boards frequently overlook. Your management company's ability to complete that questionnaire accurately depends entirely on what information they have access to. If inspection reports are missing, if reserve studies are outdated, if prior meeting minutes document a concern that was never fully resolved, a management company completing the questionnaire in good faith may still be working with an incomplete picture. And incomplete information doesn't reduce liability. It just means the gap between what was disclosed and what existed gets discovered later, in worse circumstances. The associations that handle these questionnaires well are the ones where the documentation is current, organized, and accessible, and where there's a clear process for flagging conditions that might require engineering or legal review before the form gets back to the lender. Every time a unit in your community goes on the market and a buyer applies for financing, your management company is making disclosure decisions on your association's behalf. Those decisions are only as sound as the records and processes behind them. If your association doesn't have that process locked down, or if you're not sure your documentation would hold up under scrutiny, that's exactly the conversation worth having before it becomes a problem. At ManageMax, we know that effective community management is built on transparency and systematic excellence. We provide full-service HOA and condominium management across Southeast Michigan, handling everything from accurate financial reporting to proactive maintenance. Our goal is to reduce the burden on your board while protecting your property values. If you're looking for a partner who values accountability as much as you do, visit us at managemaxproperties.com. Let's build a stronger community together.